Yes, blessings in his name of his Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie, Kings of Kings and Lord of Lords, conquering line of the tribe of Judah, elect of God, earth rightful ruler. This is Mr. Culture. Say welcome to Cosmic Vision. Today we are in the Nyabinghi headquarters in Siparia, and we are among some of the elders. And we'd just like them to introduce themselves and give you a word song and power. First, we'll start with my brother, Mr. Bongo Grace.
Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Glory to word, glory to song, glory unto the power of his living majesty, aye, aye, Selassie, aye. Glory unto the works. Aye, Selassie, aye. Again, my brethren, I was glad when they said unto I, come let her and I go into the house of the Most High, and I feet shall stand within the high gates of Ethiopia. Ethiopia is built a city that is compact together, but the tribes God, the tribes of the Most High, unto the high ceremony of Ethiopia. To give thanks and praises unto the name of the Most High, for they are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of the great King David. And I pray for the love of Ethiopia, and I shall prosper that love thee. Peace be within these gates, and prosperity within all our life policies. For my brethren and companions' sake, I now say peace and love. Greetings to the culture, greetings to their sister and Deborah, greetings to each and everyone. Today we are gathered here today for the unification of all Rastafari. We are also gathered here again today for the 128th Earth Strong of His Divine Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I King Rastafari, to strengthen the foundation of the Rastafari Tabernacle headquarters here in Siparia. Today we call on the unification of one accord of all Jah people to be conscious and to be forward in the building of Jah kingdom upon earth. So again, before we move on to the other brethren, I call on all Rastafari brethren and sisters today to let us come together and manifest the works of Jah by creating our foundation of this tabernacle in Siparia, by putting all our donations, because as we know, King David was instructed to build the tabernacle. However, Solomon came and built it. So my brethren and sisters who may be watching this video, whether on YouTube or whether or via any other media, I call on you today to support the conscience of the Rastafari movements, and that's your conscience, to aid in whatever, whether you're a skilled artisan, whatever you could, if it's $1, whatever you could afford, to come let's build the tabernacle and furnish the tabernacle of Emperor Haile Selassie at Taylor Avenue in Siparia. Since this tabernacle here play a very significant part, not only to the community, but to Rastafari worldwide, you know, and we must understand that the tabernacle is just not a place, just not a house or just not a dwelling place, but the tabernacle is the fulfillment of Rastafari people in Iritz unto the Divine Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie. So my brethren and sisters, as I pass you on to the ancients of days, my other brethren and sisters, I will further reveal my certain things unto you before the evening is over. I give thanks. So that I eat natural fruits and everything. So it was based on the divinity of life, a liberty of life. So natural fruits and everything, that was it. So it kept him in a holistic ital liberty. You know. However, as the years go by, certain individual leaders of the Rastafari mansion start to make mansions. However, what mansions do, mansions is good, but it actually brings in a particular type of doctrination. So the Bogos would have one doctrination, the Bengi would have one doctrination, the Tuanshai would have one doctrination. From a morning time, our concept was always reparation and repatriation. However, to this day, it is not.
Yo! Selassie, I just echoing Brother Greece. Greetings, one and all. This time is a mystic blowing through the air, you know, and Rastafari is at the head of it. Manifestation of sound and word sound is happening around us. And as Rastafari, our foundation within the Nyabinghi must be manifested here in Trinidad. We already have the facilities. It's now, as Bongo Grease say, for and I to come together and I tribute whatever we have because only I and I can do it. We don't need any external help. We just have to do it and continue the works of His Imperial Majesty by providing sustenance to ourselves and to all people in the same way that we provide sustenance, knowledge and wisdom to this now generation in this time where world peace is on the lips of everybody because of this pandemic. We also have to look forward in this time. In the revelation, we have to complete the works within this decade of people of African descent. And Rastafari as leaders should have their tabernacle intact so we can gather and assemble in unity, love and peace, which will resonate across the globe. Give thanks.
Thanks and praise to the Most High, Selassie, for the gathering today. We gather to the building of the tabernacle, and we asking for the strength from each and every one. And I give thanks and praise to be here, within the brethren and sisters, the reason and that strength. You know, so I give thanks and praise to the Most High for this great work that will be done.
Selassie.
How excellent is thy name, thou hast set thy glory above the heavens. For out of the mouths of babes and sucklings art thou adding strength to still enemies and the avenger. With thy new name, O Jah Rastafari.
Majesty, I Selassie, the first Empress Menai, the King and Queen of Aviation. And I greet I people from without to come within to give I this special opportunity to greet the people of Trinidad and Tobago up here, Taylor Avenue, Queen Anne Superior, and Naya Hill. On this great occasion representing the 128th Old Strong of His Majesty Haile Selassie, I was born in 1892. As Rastafari, our mission is always to develop unity, strength, and I still say a house divided amongst itself can't stand. So in this time, the Rastaman just send out the word song to Trinidadians, Africans, Indians, Chinaman, all man, you know, that we would like to see a fullness in this time of revelation and judgment, and we would like to see this fullness grow from strength to strength. In these areas where Mystery Babylon, the final beast, which is the Roman Empire, is falling, and Ethiopia, which is Mount Zion, Psalm 87, is rising. We pray that ones and ones outside who have not heard about the house in Taylor Avenue for a while, this is a wake-up call for all to come together so that I could complete an churchical foundation and also an woman quarters to house the daughters and the man quarters to house the man. And we also have intention of rectifying like school cities, library cities, and all the things that is necessary to educate a nation that has been downtrodden for 500 and odd years in the West here. So in this revival time, July 23rd, 2020, which is the balance. The Most High say the economical and the spiritual must balance. This is a time where I could attain this balance and build up on myself to face the coming future roles and attempt that we would have to fulfill as a people. You see? So as children and sons and daughters of the Most High, we owe it to the youths who are still destroying themselves, even in Trinidad here, without cause, with the resurrection of guns and drugs in the country. So the house of the Nyabinghi has always been a peacemaker, not just for Rastafari people, but for black people and for our nation, because we live with equal rights and justice. So we send out this message to the people to come forward and stand up for equal rights and justice, and let us reconstruct ourselves and move forward under one God, under one aim, under one destiny. Hail I. Hail I. Empress Menina. Hail I.
Nyabinghi
And I give thanks this day that I could come forward, the tabernacle, grounds, the presence of the Most High, highly high. For a blessed Sunday afternoon, the brethren had come together in one perfect love. The Most High say, we 1 or 2 and 3 we are gathered, he will bring him in Zion. So and I give thanks for this day and give thanks for health and strength and life. Highly high. Yeah, man. I just want to say the words from my brethren Bongo Jack, who he say, is a powerful word song, and I hope that the people pay attention to what he say, that little speech is just, and I give thanks to that. Because I am out that meditation from my heart, always be acceptable. Highly high.
Selassie I.
Give thanks.
Give thanks.
Yes, I greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty Highly High and our Blessed Mother Empress Many. I'd like to give thanks for the media personnel here today who have took it upon themselves and came up here to help us fight for our cause, in the rebuilding of the tabernacle. And just as the ancients would say, I'm just a youth amongst the big lions and them, and we still give thanks for the guidance of the ancients and them here today, because without the ancients, the youth and them will be lost. We need that teaching, we need that education, and in these times here now where violence plague not only Trinidad but the whole world, there have to be something for the youths and them to fall back on, to stand up strong, in these something other than guns and all that kind of schism outside there, because the only way we could rise as a people is through education and by one being able to know himself and the role which he plays in life. So as the ancients them as echoed, we're looking for donations to rebuild our tabernacle and set up certain structures for the youths, not only for Rasta alone but for other youths, because everyone deserves a chance in life to be somebody, and plenty times the system does watch us as nobody, but we still have a voice, and we give thanks for you all coming here today to share our voice. So for these few words, I give thanks. Bless you, Lord.
Old court as well. You know the place on the repair and things, so the current and thing, like that, but inside there we saw ones come big, they used to stay and the people just rest out, they'll sleep and things.
So they want to refreshen up here, get a little bigger, get more respectable for the women to be able to be welcome. And bring the children along here and get a comfortable rest when necessary. Alright, man. Let's see it. Work need to be done. Everything is for a good cause. So let we do the right thing. Yes, well, we're here by the tabernacle and we're here with Mr. Bongo Jack to enlighten us on what is to be going on here. Mr. Bongo Jack.
Rastafari. This is our holy tabernacle, our churchical grounds where we give thanks and praises unto the Most High. Here we have the center post which we call the Hadu, which represents more or less Judah, the kings of kings, the lords of lords, the conquering land from the tribe of Judah. On the outskirts you will observe there are 12 pillars equally spaced apart, representing the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 sons of Jacob. This is our fire altar here, where we burn fire to keep the grounds whole and pure. Because as the I am say, when you see the rainbow in the heavens, you know that it not come with water in this time, but with judgment, fire, and brimstone and horrible tempest. This is fire altar where we sanctify our children and give them a fire baptism rather than a water baptism also. As you can see, it's more or less circular, because the tabernacle represents a wheel, and a wheel is spoken in the book of Ezekiel, and even the book of Revelation, and many other books in the scripture. Here is the altar where the priests of the faith administrate biblical prophecy, word song and power teaching of His Majesty, cultural and historical teaching to the congregation. The bench are supposed to be all around within and outside. There are benches sometimes built outside representing our outer courts, where sometimes when the tabernacle is too full of people, people can reside on the outskirts and take on the session. In this altar there are 7 uprights. Well, I told you this tabernacle is built by biblical specification, not no man doing their own thing. And you see tabernacle is more or less, the altar is more or less circular also. And there are 7 posts representing the 7 golden candlesticks. The book of Revelation, which is beneath here. And from the post there are 24 sticks coming out to the outskirt of the 7 golden candlesticks representing the 24 elders around the I am throne who give thanks and praises in song and praise continually night and day. So you see it is made in a more or less umbrella shape, like a wheel, circular. Tabernacle is more or less circles and triangles. Circles and triangles, a mathematic structure that when righteous praises is given on it, mystical things occur. Earthquake, lightning, thunder, brimstone, fire, storm, meteor, lava. This is a weapon. Right. And I don't fight with guns and bombs and all them things there. You fight with both song and power and praises and I true and living God. My Majesty, Haile
Selassie.
Yeah, so more or less that is the structure how it goes. And as you can see, we are under some drastic repairs. Costly drastic repairs because we are trying to come better and more stronger and leave a structure in place. So that even self and I trod Africa or I trod up in the heaven, the youths and them will still have something strong behind to carry on the legacy that I and I, the elders, have taught them. So I give thanks and praises unto the Most High for these hours. And the blessing of the Most High be upon and I house, my people of and I country, Trinidad and Tobago. Haile Selassie.
The Nyabinghi faith. The Nyabinghi faith is made up like of over 9 components. It's structured within 9 components. First, you have the Council of Elders, the ancient matriarchs and patriarchs. You have the Administrative Council. You have the Administrative Council. You have the ILEC of Record, the ILEC of Treasury, the Women's Committee, the Youth Committee, and the Welcoming Committee. However, my elder brethren has just explained to you about the altar, the purpose of the altar. The Nyabinghi Order is made up of 7 priests. 7 priests. These 7 priests is being chosen by the ancient council in approval of the congregation of Rastafari. Of one being the head priest. The 7 priests of the Nyabinghi Order is the priest who conducts the 7 seals at all ISIS or at all Rastafari gatherings. However, these priests has been chosen according to their levity over a number of years. You know, in terms of their Rastafari levity, the Aita levity, in order to be considered a Nyabinghi priest. In order to carry on. There are certain things that is expected of the priesthood. Number 1, the Nyabinghi priest must always be sober. The Nyabinghi priest must not be a double or fork-tongued person. So there are certain standards that as a Nyabinghi priest you have to maintain that Christ-like levity in the order of His Divine Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I King Rastafari. Hence the reason why that the sanctification of our children is very important. You know, as in Christian churches they have baptism, but as in Rastafari, as in other Nyabinghi Order, we do sanctification. The sanctification of our children is very important. And when the sanctification takes place, in order for children to be sanctified into the Nyabinghi space or the Nyabinghi tabernacle, the mother and father of the child comes to the assembly, the Nyabinghi assembly, and speaks to one of the priests or one of the ancients, pertaining to the sanctification of the children. One of the ancients or the priests would then choose the hour for the sanctification. The sanctification, choosing the hour for the sanctification, when the hour is for the sanctification, the parent, both mother and father will be called upon to stand at the altar with their child. The priest, one of the priests or the high priest, would then give them a little knowledge about the Nyabinghi Order, and one of the priests would then read the passages or the scriptures pertaining to the sanctification of the child. Namely, 1 Samuel 1, chapter 1, the birth of Samuel. Judges 13, the birth of Samson. Psalm 127. During such time, the ancient priests would explain to the parents, based on the mention of the above passages where these people vow to be Rastafari from the womb, so too they must now dedicate themselves and the children to the vow, must be to the vow of Rastafari. We expel all forces and all duppies through our eyes and through our redemption songs. We fight the people with music. So solemn songs like little children, nice little solemn songs for the baby to make the baby happy, to make the youth happy.
That's mad.
Right? And after the solemnizers go on, the parents would now be able and the youth would now be able to enjoy themselves and yant round the altar. Yant round the altar and enjoy the fullness of it until the priest is satisfied that the next youth or the next person to come forward could come forward. So the sanctification among the Rastafari Nyabinghi Order is very special. The child would be given a sanctification certificate stating they had been sanctified by the Nyabinghi Theocracy Reign Ivine Order of Nyabinghi. So calling all brethren, calling all sisters, all young ones, all ones who love Rastafari, whether you have a dread or you have a dread, once you love Rastafari, come, all artisans, all skillsmen, come, let's work together and build your kingdom on earth. Come, let's build, because it's not only economics, it's a balance. And here at this tabernacle is where you're going to find the heretical power in order to move strong. So for these few words, brethren and sisters, all Rastafari from yonder far who consider themselves to be Rastafari, please come, because it's a journey. And this journey starts from Lit Tafari, Desmach Tafari, Tafari Makunenen, Nigas Tafari, to Emperor Haile Selassie I, the first, with all honor, to all glory, to all praises, to all adoration. Haile 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 ruler of rocks, moons, and stars. I ever living. Haile Selassie. Kadamawi.
Guys, I tell you, there is so much this evening. I tell you, my heart is filled to see how much I myself is learning, and I hope that the Rastafari community out there is getting more, adding more to your cup, being overfilled with the Spirit at this point in time. And I'm here now with a beautiful Empress.
Greetings in the name of Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie. My name is Sister Trudy. I think by now I'm maybe the eldest sister in the house here.
Blessed.
I've been treading Rastafari from birth.
Okay.
It's something, it's just a liberty that we live. And it's a blessing because, not everybody know Rastafari, but they don't know it on the spiritual side, So sometimes I explain to them when Bob Marley and them went up in the Blue Mountain there, this is the vibe that they got that make them Rastafari.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a bless having you all here.
Blessing.
And a nice meeting you all.
And I know that after we are finished here, we are going to reach so many people on the outside, because the work that is being done here, that has already been structured and the foundation has already been laid, I know that what you all are doing here is going to reach ones and ones.
So just sad to know you didn't see the tabernacle we had before. So we're just doing it a little bigger because, Selassie, with this Nyabinghi Order, right? We have to teach the children, and this is the time where Selassie I say find them where you scatter them.
Yes.
You understand? So we have a lot of youths we like to reach who know about Rasta, but they don't know the spiritual side of Rastafari.
Yes.
So it's a blessed meeting you all and chatting with you all.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You could call anytime.
Man, do a very well.
I see the heavens declare your glory, and the firmament show it is handiwork,
Selassie, I facing the moon, the moon, the moon. I know that is coming soon, so soon, yeah. Selassie, I facing the moon, the moon, the moon. I know that is coming soon, so soon, yeah. So all pestilence we walk afternoon, and the reptilian who are wear them costume. Who don't want the youth them fi bloom. So them kill every prophet when them sing them tune. Jolly them with the rod, sweep them with broom. Them entice black woman with them sweet perfume. The strength of the battle is set fi rise soon. It's time to get in tune, yeah. Selassie, I facing the moon, the moon.
This is your boy Request Music, BMS Records, and I am endorsing Cosmic Vision, Your Life and Beyond, with your host, Deborah Francis and Culture D. You don't know the thing set. Blessed.
Yo, it's your boy Touchy, and I'm bigging up Cosmic Vision, Your Life and Beyond. Big up the host Culture D and Deborah Francis. Don't know the thing set, man. Yeah, Touchy endorse the thing, man. Respect. We stand for love, L-O-V-E, love. Respect.
COVID have us doing more from home. With your host Deborah Francis and Mr. Culture from Cosmic Vision, you get all the relevant information. They are very informative and relevant to what's going on right now.
You're tuned in to Cosmic Vision, Your Life and Beyond with Deborah and
Hello, this is Mr. Culture.
And I'm Deborah Francis.
And we are the hosts of Cosmic Vision, Your Life and Beyond.
Make sure to tune in each and every Sunday for our segment. We look forward to seeing you.
God bless.
So capable and able, so capable and able, so capable and able, so capable and able. My life ain't so stable, my life ain't so stable, my life ain't so stable. Tell it. I'm so capable and able. You know that my life ain't so stable, but like a deck of cards, people life.
It is good that you are here to record this picture of me in my palace garden at Addis Ababa. People who see this throughout the world will realize that even in the 20th century, with faith, courage, and a just cause, David will still beat Goliath.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know I speak in behalf of all of my fellow Americans in welcoming His Imperial Majesty back to the United States. Since His Majesty visited the United States nearly a decade ago, we have seen one of the most extraordinary revolutions in history. And that has been the appearance on the world scene of 29 independent countries in the short space of less than 10 years, including over 150 million people. The conference recently held in His Majesty's capital served, I think, to bring together in a great cooperative movement the people of most of these countries. And the success of that conference was due in no small part to the leadership of our distinguished guest. His efforts to move his country forward and provide a better life for its people, and his efforts throughout the world, which stretch back over 30 or 40 years. For all of this, Your Majesty, we take the greatest pride in welcoming you here. You do us honor, and I can assure you that there is no guest that we will receive in this country that will give a greater sense of livelier pride and satisfaction to the American people than your presence here today. Your Majesty, you're most welcome.
He was probably the first African leader to be treated by white men as an equal. Now, in his old age, he's practically the incarnation of the history of our time. In Europe, the bloodiest of modern wars was being fought with tanks, machine guns, and poison gas. But here, the centuries rolled back as if to King Henry at Agincourt, or Richard losing his crown at Bosworth Field. Joining the new League of Nations, he put his faith in the latest post-war watchword, collective security. In such great company, one little country would surely be safe, for none would let another gobble it up. Instead, he hoped that all might compete in helping him to modernize his country and make it worthy of its place in the League. To extend his foreign contacts, he toured the European capitals. In London, the Times described his arrival as an historical event. In Stockholm, he met King Gustav, and the Swedes promised him doctors. In Brussels, he found financiers ready to invest in his country. Governors of Africa's colonial territories came to salute the independent African king. Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator, proclaimed he would create a new Roman Empire, and he aimed at the one place left for imperial conquest in Africa, Haile Selassie's Ethiopia. And Britain and France would do no more than proclaim an embargo on arms sales to both sides. For Italy, with her own arms, the embargo was a green light. For Ethiopia, it was a death sentence. But for Haile Selassie, the final betrayal came at the League of Nations. Pierre Laval, the French foreign minister, and Sir Samuel Hoare for Britain, proposed to hand part of Ethiopia to Mussolini. Appeasement had triumphed. Collective security was a myth. In the war that followed, Haile Selassie had no chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, the second speaker on the list is His Majesty the Negus Haile Selassie.
He did so with a dignity that has become a legend.
Monsieur le Président, Monsieur le...
The jeers of fascists in the gallery did not stop him. I am here to claim justice, he said. What reply shall I take back to my people? There was no answer, and there could be none. The League was dead. So, said the Emperor, it is us today, it will be you tomorrow. He created a network of tiny airstrips that broke down the isolation of the interior for the first time. When the 1950s opened, Ethiopian Airlines were in business. It was Haile Selassie's first major accomplishment in modernizing his country. Ethiopia's past for the first time came to the aid of the present and made Haile Selassie and his capital the focus of Africa's new hopes. As almost the only independent African ruler after the war, Haile Selassie provided a symbol of self-respect for black men just emerging from white rule. The wind of change had come to Africa. Recognizing the emperor's unique position, the United Nations chose Addis Ababa as its African headquarters, and he embarked on a new political career.
The age in which we live, Your Imperial Majesty, is an age of paradox.
In his brand new Africa Hall, Haile Selassie presided at innumerable meetings of his new revolutionary colleagues. He became the great African father figure, the great African peacemaker, in the Congo, in Biafra, in Morocco and Algeria. It was a strange apotheosis for the King of Kings. He didn't always succeed, but his voice commanded respect, because he alone in Africa had been both victim and victor in the struggle against colonial rule. He alone had been the first martyr of the old League of Nations and was now a founder and guide of the new United Nations. Seeing his influence in the new Africa, the world beat a path to his door. The Organization of African Unity followed the United Nations and set up shop in Addis Ababa. Diplomats and businessmen flocked in. Within a decade, the face of Addis Ababa was transformed. The signs of international affluence towered over the old open drains. With the bankers and diplomats came foreign money and foreign aid. There were new ports, new roads, new dams to be opened. America trained the emperor's army. Russia built his schools. Israel provided technicians. India supplied teachers. Britain brought doctors. France offered culture. Germany sent trade missions. Haile Selassie's old empire had become the new African showcase, and everyone wanted an exhibit there. Today, Haile Selassie is besieged by foreign delegations hoping to catch his ear. He balances these contemporary forces to strengthen his own independence as shrewdly as he juggled half a century ago with the rival tribes and princes in his old fight for power. One day it may be a Japanese delegation, the next day a mission from Maoist China. It doesn't matter what political persuasion they are, they all see Haile Selassie as an essential link to the rest of Africa. Even with Italy, he's made friends again. On a state visit to Rome, 30 years after Mussolini's troops had been driven from his country. His name is everywhere. His presence seems all-pervading. His word seems law. In his old age, it looks as if Haile Selassie has routed all his enemies at last, to emerge supreme, as if the all-wise and benevolent Lion of Judah has prevailed. Nearly half the population of Ethiopia now is under the age of 15, and for Haile Selassie their education has always been an obsession, and turned one of his palaces into a university. He's directly responsible for whatever schooling these youngsters get. Haile Selassie is a lonely man now. His wife, 2 sons, a daughter are all dead. To have survived them for the better part of 55 years in power is something unequaled by any ruler in the world today. No wonder the Lion of Judah has become one of the living legends of our time.
Yo, this is your Shuli Isaac King and I endorse Cosmic Visions, hosted by Mr. Culture and Deborah Francis. Keep your energy up, educate yourself, keep your vibes up, and make sure to live in love. I won't hesitate to appreciate my brothers and my sisters, all the faith, and spread love. Energy.
I'm so glad I watch Cosmic Vision every week with Deborah Francis and Mr. Culture. Great program, great production, great entertainment, and great vibes. So I'm here just to remind you to keep watching. Remember to keep the love great.
Yes, it's me, Scorpio Queen, endorsing Cosmic Vision, your life and beyond. Big up my good friend Culture and his friend Deborah Francis. Keep up the good, positive week. Love it.
I'm here to endorse Mr. Culture and Deborah Francis in their Cosmic Vision. Remember, love each other, listen to their words, be positive, think positive. Love is the key.
Inspiring to me, and I recommend it to the youth of today. It can inspire them to better themselves and empower themselves to build a better future for themselves and also for their families in the future. And it can teach them the importance of life and it can teach them how to build themselves in the future. And that's why I like looking at cosmic vision.
Well, yes, Rastafari lives for Ivor and Ivor. We in Nyabinghi House, Superior. It was a privilege being here. Had a lot of fun, learned a lot of stuff, got a lot of new knowledge, and we see we need things to be done to make things better. All right. So, Deborah, what do you think about the meeting?
For me, today was very, very edifying. I want to thank all the members, Bongo Greece, and everybody else who I haven't met yet, who I know is going to be taking a look at this video. And we together as one, if we say that we're coming together, this is where it starts. Now the foundation has already been laid, and I look forward to hearing from you. We would have numbers where you all can contact the head of the association, and whatever donations that you all would want to give for this worthy cause and for each and every community of Rastafari, we will definitely be thankful. So I would leave numbers at the end of the show. You all would see it, who you're going to contact. And on behalf of Bongo Greece and all the members of the Rastafari House, we say thank you. Cosmic Visions, your life and beyond.
Have a blessed night.